Welcome to the training site for DERA's environmental farming scheme. This training is for the EFS wider level option of an introduction to creation of pollinator margins, 10-meter width with pollen and nectar. There is a video for you to watch, and this is followed by 4 questions which you need to answer. Further details about the environmental farming scheme are found on the DERA website. This includes the information sheet for each of the options. There are a number of aspects covered in this training. It will explain what the option is and why you might want to establish it. It discusses where is a good situation to establish it and covers certain things that you must do and must not do as part of the scheme requirements. It gives recommendations regarding the seed mixture and tells you the type of checks that DERA will carry out as they're part of the agreement. The payment rate is given, as is some further advice to help ensure the successful completion of this project. What is it? Well, essentially, it's the establishment of a 10-meter wide margin in year 1 of the agreement. This is re-established in the 4th year of the agreement, and the margin is managed to provide pollen and nectar-rich habitat. The amount of the option that is required is the amount that is detailed in your agreement, and this amount must be done. There's a minimum area overall of 0.1 hectare, and the maximum is half a hectare within a field, or up to the maximum as per your maximum agreement value. Why might you want to establish this margin? Well, it increases the quantity of food source available to pollen and nectar feeders, such as bumblebees and butterflies, and it also benefits predators, provides habitat for plant eating and other invertebrates, and foraging sites for farmland birds and small mammals. Where is a good place to establish a margin? Well, choose a field area that is arable or temporary grass, one sown to grass for less than 5 years, and fields that are capable of cultivation, sowing and cutting forage. Areas that are sheltered and receive lots of sunlight are ideal, and do not plant in wet or shaded sites. There are certain things you must do as part of the scheme. You must establish the agreed area of pollinator margin with an average 10-meter width for each meter length in the 1st year of the agreement. You must retain and manage the claimed area in the same location for the duration of the agreement. You must re-establish the margin in year 4 of the agreement, and you must sow a mixture of at least 3 flowering legumes, including late flowering red clover in the March-April period. Use seeds from this recommended list. Use at least 3 flowering legumes from this list, and that is late flowering red clover and any 2 others. It is important to get the mix of seeds right. This is part of the required specification. No single species should make up more than 50% of the mixture, and the recommended seed rate is 15 to 20 kilograms per hectare. You must keep and provide on request from DERA evidence of the seed mixture used, and this can come from labels or invoices with the appropriate details on them. Also, from the 1st of March to the 14th of September, you must exclude livestock from the margin, and from the 15th of September to the 31st of October, you either lightly graze the area or cut and remove the clippings from the margin at least once a year. You must keep field records detailing the area established and re-established, the location, the date work is completed, the seed mixture used, and all management requirements carried out, including integrated pest management. If you're doing the work as part of the EFS higher level, then the margin must be established, retained and managed as detailed in the site-specific remedial management plan. This slide gives an example of the type of records that need to be kept. You must keep field level records for each year of the works undertaken for this option and any capital items associated with the option. You may use the format shown here, which is available on the DERA website, or you may prefer to use your own format to keep the required records. Please note that there's a separate training module on record keeping, which will give you some help with this aspect of the scheme. You'll need to keep agreement level records each year of the two parts of the integrated pest management highlighted here. That means indicating, as shown here by ticking a box, that you've assessed whether there are any issues with harmful organisms or pests in the establishment or maintenance of the option in your agreement, and secondly, that you have checked and recorded what measures you have taken to protect the option from such pests. There are certain things that you must not do as part of the scheme. You must not use this option on environmentally sensitive permanent grassland. The ideal location is arable and temporary grassland. As part of their responsibilities, DERA will carry out checks to verify that works are completed to the required standard. These checks can be a number of types. They may include office-based administrative checks. Secondly, they may include technologically based checks, such as control with remote sensing. And thirdly, they may include on-site checks, such as rapid field visits or on-the-spot checks. Things that DERA may check is that the land is not permanent grassland sensitive. They may check that the field location remains the same from year 1 to 5 of the agreement. They may check that the sown mixture contains at least 3 flowering legumes, one of which must be late flowering red clover. And they'll check that the margin is re-established in year 4 of the agreement. Other checks will be that from the 1st of March to 31st of August, livestock are not on the margin, and that from 15th of September through to 31st of October, the margin is cut and the cuttings are lifted, or else it is lightly grazed. They'll check that field records are kept, including the area and width of the measured margin, and in the case of the higher scheme, they will check that the site-specific remedial management plan is followed accurately. Regarding the payment rate for this option, the rate is £465 per hectare for each year of the agreement. This training module wants to give some further practical advice about how you establish this option. Advice is available in the information sheet for the option, and this covers aspects as shown here, such as sowing in March and April. And then on the information sheet there will be data about the ideal sites, the type of establishment technique you may use, the post-establishment management, and re-establishment of the margin in year 4. Finally, there are certain things you need to do now as this video comes to a finish. You need to complete the questions for this option which follow after the video. It is essential that you do this so as to register that your training on the option is complete. Secondly, you should also read the information sheet that relates to this option. This is available on the lesson site, as well as being available on the EFS section of the DAERA website. And thirdly, if you have further options or capital items in your agreement, you can take the training for them after you complete the questions for this option.